Guys, nice to see you. Always nice to see the local media in the comfortable confines of the meeting room. So, any questions?
Hey, Les, wanted to ask you a little bit about Jalen Daniels. When you kind of look back at where he was entering the season opener and kind of his development since then, just how much progress has he made, and why wasn't he ready to be the starter, entering the season?
The entering the season, he didn't have enough snaps to get him ready. Period. No matter how you put it, and we needed a spring ball for him so that he could run the show, and he didn't have that opportunity. But Jalen Daniels he's maturing every week, and it's some of the throws. If you look at them, they're spectacular throws, and we're getting him in position to make him be our leader or help him be our leader. So.
And what are maybe the next steps he needs to make in his development?
Well, I don't know if the next step is exactly an identifiable piece. I think you work through reads on the passing game. I think when he rolls to his left, there's some concern. When he rolls to his right, how he brings the ball across his body, things like that are something that you work on every day, and it comes in bits and pieces, and you count on it, because that's how you improve. You take those bits and pieces and make them your game. So.
Hey, Les, because of how this season all came together with COVID, no spring ball, like you said, Jalen, it's almost like he showed up in August and started being with you guys. I know that wasn't quite the case, but I guess, have you ever had a situation where you're playing a quarterback who's had, I guess, such limited time to go through practice and learn things with you guys?
Nothing. There was no quarterback that I have ever been a part of in his development that had so little time to improve. And I think what he's got accomplished is really an amazing thing, considering, we're going through things, and as an adult mind, this is not a normal year. This pandemic is, something that is very difficult to describe. I think everybody in the room would see it differently. And then you have a true freshman stepping into a very athletic conference, and teaching him things about running the ball, teaching him things about throwing the ball, teaching him things about his reads. Those are all things that take time, and certainly I think he's making good progress, certainly, but you need to continue, and as a team we need to improve.
Yeah. And then just following up on that, if you could give just one word to describe Jalen, what would that one word be, and why?
Now, no one takes one word. They say something like "nice smile." Okay. And for me, that would be the piece that I would enjoy, because it means that he's put all those things that are, important in order, and such that he can, step into a huddle or step into a practice and put a smile on his face and go to work hard and really be enjoyed by his teammates. That's my one word: smile. Pretty damn good. I thought that was really a nice answer. You guys could give me an applause at some point in time, but it's not that important today.
I'll give it to you. That was solid. That was solid. I want to follow up on that, though, Les. I wanted to ask you, you've come across in the short time we've been around you as eternally optimistic, positive, seeing the good in everything, and that answer was a little bit that way. where does that come from? Has that always been you? I mean, throughout all your coaching stops, throughout your life, why are you wired that way? Do you know?
Yeah, I do. It's a guy named Hope Miles. His first name was named, it was given him for Hope Faith Charity. And as an example, I was a 6'1", 225-pound offensive guard playing in the 70s. And I can remember being at a scrimmage and really had a terrible scrimmage at the school that I attended, and got in the car, and I could not stop myself from shedding tears. And my father said, "Hey," he says, "you're the best guard in the stadium." Now, it was a spring scrimmage, and it was I was never the best guard in the stadium. There were always at least two guards better than I. And but I think that everything that he approached with how you do it, not how I can't do it. And I think he is was a great example for me, great advocate for me. And yeah, I think that I read an article once too with who was the head coach at the Dallas Cowboys. One of the may have been Chan Gailey, but it was an article that said it's not what you say, it's how you describe it. In other words, ball security as opposed to don't fumble. I mean, it's a simple thing, but that's how you do it. You don't ever talk about don't fumble. You always talk about ball security. It's just the way it is.
Cool. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Hey, Les, I was wanting to know, what's the status on the offensive lineman that you were missing, and how did the young guys grade out?
Young guys played hard. They very, very aggressive, made some mistakes, certainly. I think they'll be very talented eventually, but they stepped in, big smile on their face, and went to work. It's following their leader, that quarterback over there. So,
Hey, what's the status for Api and Adagio? I mean, our protocols going to keep them out another week?
protocols appear to be in effect there, and it's. I think there's some defining. I don't think there's any way to change protocol, but I think there's some defining that needs to be done when it comes to tracing.
So you would expect them to be out for that game at OU?
Yeah, absolutely.
How looking at the O-line a little bit more, I guess, how do you think they held up against Iowa State given the circumstances of missing two starters?
I thought they held up really well, to be honest with you. I think they improved. I think the youthful guys that stepped in there listened, got things accomplished, and really I think the veterans that were there beside them helped them in the day. So, yeah, I think those guys did remarkably well considering they're, some true freshmen.
Les, how is Daniels? He limped off with an ankle, it looked like.
He's going to be fine. There's not a problem there. Sometimes you can get an ankle that you are favoring a little bit tweaked, and the good news is there's not any extra swelling. It was an uncomfortable moment.
Hey, Les, it seems like Dejon Terry and Marcus Harris have been two of your most active guys on the defensive line. How would you evaluate their performances through 6 games this season?
I think they're doing a great job. Both of them young guys. Marcus Harris makes some big athletic plays, and Dejon Terry if you're planning on playing a center, you're gonna want to watch his film because he's a pretty talented guy.
Hey, when you're kind of rebuilding a program and you're facing a team like Oklahoma that puts up so many points, what are the type of things you need to do to be competitive in a game like this?
Well, I think what you have to do is what you always have to do is visualize those plays that are going to be good against this team. Call those plays, limit your call sheet, and give yourself the situations that you need to win with. And if you do that, I think you get the best chance to win.
All right, I'll ask another one. Hey, I'll ask you about fourth downs. You guys have had some success going for it on fourth downs this year. The other day against Iowa State, I think it was a 4th and 6 at the 40. And the way it turned out, Grimm ends up wide open and Jalen hits him. Was that kind of like the way the play was designed, or did it just develop and turn out that way?
No, that was the play that play was designed that way. And I think the relationship between Luke and Jalen is I think that's going to be healthy for the team for quite some time. Both of them are freshmen.
And I mean, with you guys, I think you've had I think you're 7 for 14 on fourth downs. Are you going for it more often because you're trailing, or is that just kind of the approach you like to take in certain situations?
Yeah, we're looking at different situations with the opportunity to go based on what is our strength and do we have a call, and are we ready for that? Because if we've used 2, we want to, maybe there's a third that we'd like to use, but if not, then we kick it on fourth down.
Hey, Les, you're playing a lot of young guys, and I know through the summer, I think it got shut down for COVID for a little bit. I'm talking about from the angle of strength and conditioning. How important is it for those guys to get a full year in and get stronger?
What happens is there's 6-week programs and there's 8-week programs, and our guys didn't get to saddle up. It was we turned it off for quite a period of time, and we got a great weight strength department and a great weight strength room, but we haven't had the opportunity to be in there on a consistent basis, and it is important. Those young freshmen that we're talking about, some want to lean up, some want to muscle up, and it takes a weight room in a year-round position to function and deal these guys the importance of the workout and being a steady show up at the weight room and get it done. And and a lot of other schools too, but we've not had that opportunity.
Les, how big a test is this? Oklahoma scored a ton of points the other night. Is this a monster test?
Well, they're as talented as any team that we've seen, and I think our team looks forward to those kinds of challenges, and I think we'll step in and play hard. I mean, I know we will.
Les, with all the young guys that you guys are playing and starting defensively, have you noticed any of the upperclassmen starting to maybe step into leadership roles? And if so, who would those guys be?
Yeah, I think a number of our guys. I think Kyron Johnson is a guy that's, even though his production is normally high at this point, but he's had some good games that were not. The ball didn't go his way, and but he's stepped up and done a great job in leadership both on and off the field. Kenny Logan Kenny Logan, although he's youthful, has done a great job in on and off the field leadership. And even our true freshman quarterback steps onto the field, brings that smile with him, and everybody says, "Okay, let's go to work. It's time to get this done."
Coach, I kind of wanted to stay on that in terms of like Jalen. What have you seen early out of his leadership? Obviously, it's still pretty early in his career. I guess what are some of the things that you've seen that you've liked out of his leadership?
Well, he's stepped in and played in a nicked fashion and really played with courage. And but his leadership on a daily basis, wherever we practice, whatever we're doing, is exactly what you'd want. You know, taking hard work on with a smile on his face and enjoying it, and that's the way it's supposed to be.
Hey, Coach, you mentioned a minute ago that this weekend, your guys will go down there and play hard. And that kind of brought me to a question of expectations. I wonder, where do you set the level of expectations for this team right now and for yourself? And maybe where do you think fans should set it? I mean, is playing hard a good enough expectation? Is being in the game late the expectation? Is winning the game late the expectation? I mean, do you have a feel for that?
I wish I could have decided about our expectations on victory early in my career, because I would have decided that we would have won them all. Okay, but the issue is expectations are the little things that you need to get accomplished so that when you step onto the field, you're comfortable playing. Because it's always the little things that, whether it's snap count or whatever it is, it's always those things that impede your progress. And, I can tell you, hey, men, we're supposed to win this game, or we're going to win this game, or it's going to be, the truth of the matter is the guy that sits in the chairs that I'm addressing that are empty, it's those guys that'll make a difference. And I can tell you this: games that I've won and lost in the past, I can tell you I did not know many times which side of the scoreboard I'd be on, the W's or the L's.
Thank you.
Hey, Coach, do you have any stories about some of your old trips down to Norman, and any funny stories or funny memories from making the trip down there from Oak State?
I can tell you that I always respected the opponent there. I think that they're a quality football team and quality guys, and Coach Lincoln Riley does a great job. I enjoyed Bob Stoops when I would go down there, and there was good banter between us, and I rooted for him every time that they played somebody else, not us. So. But yeah, that's a great place. It's a historic field. It's a shame that there won't be as many people as they could fit in it, because it sounds very much like the inside of a jet engine. I mean, it's loud when that crowd's allowed to be there. So there was a conversation that an ongoing run with Coach and myself, and it was an enjoyable venture. So you guys will have to look that up. I'm not telling that story.
Anything else for Coach?
Hey, one real quick one from me. You mentioned there's no practice tomorrow because of Election Day, right? How did you all kind of alter your schedule this week to make that work?
We practice late Sunday, and we put ourselves in a position to go hard today, and then Tuesday, where they go off to get their boat in. The same thing happens with the make sure that our staff has that opportunity. I think most of the staff is already voted, and we're going to use it then to get ahead a little bit and but we're not inviting our players certainly, because that's not the spirit of the rule. And so the players will have to sit and enjoy themselves after they get their voting done. But yeah, I think that's the right way. I mean, now we're Tuesday, we're ahead, and it's I think the opportunity is still a very good one to be prepared very well.
On that note, do you know what % of players or how many of them are registered to vote?
I do not. I'd like to say I did. I can tell you that I encouraged them to get out and vote, and if they wanted to make a difference in this world, that was the very significant difference. Just vote.